How are we? So today I'm going to do something a little bit different because the weather's dreadful. I've got some onion sets to put out and some garlic, but I can't do that quite just yet because it's the weather's just not happening. So I thought today, rather than just leave it at nothing, I'll do a bit of cooking, and I'll show you what I do for Christmas cake. So that's my plan for today. So my plan today is to show you how I make a Christmas cake. So this is all made from scratch. I do it every year. So it's October. It's the beginning of October. I'm a bit late because I usually do it the first week of October, so I'm a little bit late. And I do my Christmas cake and then it sits and it rests. So the alcohol will keep it preserved and stop it from going mouldy. But you can, if you don't like alcohol in food, you can make this without, but don't make it too soon. You need to make this closer to the time, so closer to Christmas if you're making a Christmas cake without alcohol, because it needs to be preserved, because it's just like a normal food. It'll go mould, it'll go off. So this is what I do. Now look at this. This book here. Can you see there? It's an old book with all old recipes in. This is my grandma's book and it was passed down generations, and it was passed down to my mum and me, and I've added bits and bobs too. So so I've got a Christmas cake recipe in here. I did have it a minute ago. I've lost it. I've got it, which is there, which is just being put in and added in this little book with all sorts written on it in it, and that's what I'm going to do today. So this is my grandma's Christmas cake. I'm also going to do a cottage pie. That's for our dinner tonight, but I know it's off the subject, but it'll be using potatoes, and I grow potatoes. I'm going to put broccoli in, and I tried to grow broccoli and it didn't work, so that counts, doesn't it? So right, let's crack on. So today's is a bit of cooking, so if you don't want to watch the cooking, you can switch off now. Now what you're going to need is a few items. So this is a rich fruit cake. So our traditional Christmas cake in the UK, well, in England, is a rich fruit cake. So there's lots of fruit in it, very high in fibre, you know the one. So first of all we need a Christmas tin, a big cake tin. So I've got a big cake tin here. I'm going to line it, so I need baking paper. This is non-stick baking parchment or baking paper. This makes it much easier to get out. You don't get any cake sticking to it, breaking or anything, so you must use that. That's a must. Then I've got some walnuts. I'm going to chop those up. Sultanas. I've got some cherries, Glace cherries, chopped dates, and currants. They're my fruit. Then I've got some brown sugar. I use light brown sugar because I don't really like a dark cake, but you can use dark brown sugar. It doesn't really matter. A block of butter, real butter. Don't be using the fake stuff. Self-raising flour. Some mixed spice to give it that Christmassy flavour. And eggs. And then this, you don't have to do this, but this is the booze. So if you're going to make it early, your Christmas cake, you must have the booze in it. So I've got some brandy there, and I've got sherry, just so that if one doesn't work, the other one does, you know that? Right, so this is what happens with this. This is so easy. And cake, you know, Christmas cake is so expensive to buy. and this is really easy. And if you do like fruit cake, then this is just an absolutely delicious cake. So I do this every year in October, and then I put it away, seal it into a box, into a big box. You'll have seen the box that I use, because I use it for the for harvesting stuff at the allotment. So, but I clean it, I wash it all out, clean it. So I'll wrap all the cake when it's done, and it'll go into that box, and it'll sit there. Then every week, I'll go in, I'll put some holes in the top, and I'll just drizzle a tiny little bit of alcohol on the top so that it soaks in, and wrap it all up again. That's called feeding your cake. That keeps it moist and stops it from going mouldy. You can keep fruit cake for, I think it's a year, about a year. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's about a year you can store it. So even if you don't eat it at Christmas, you can eat it through the year. I'll tell you something else as well, birds love it. So I don't eat it all, because there's only me in the house that likes Christmas cake. But it's a tradition that my mum always did and my grandma always did, and it's something that I want to carry on. So I make the cake and my daughter ices it. She does her own little icing, and she does it. That's our little family thing that we do every year. And so she'll ice it in December. And that's sort of like our family tradition. And even though she doesn't like eating the cake, she don't like the cake, I do. So I'll eat a bit of it, and then maybe around February, I take it down to the allotment and I break it all up, and the birds eat it. So it's a win-win. So I'm making this cake for the birds. Right, let's crack on and do some baking. Now, ideally, you want to have your fruit soaking overnight in the alcohol. But I'm not putting loads of alcohol in because I don't drink. Where's my scissors? So I'm just putting enough in to preserve it. So let's see what I need. So I want half pound currants. Pound of idiot, not of it, but half pound Sultanas, 2 ounces of nuts. I'm not going to do those because I'm going to just quickly chop them. We'll just give them a rough chop. Don't want big pieces of nuts. You use your favourite nut, you don't have to put walnuts in. So if you prefer pecans or hazelnuts, almonds, even Brazil nuts, whatever your favourite nut is, put that in. It just gives it a bit of crunch and a bit of texture, so it's just not all fruit. Then we've got those, £1 steaks. I will chop some cherries up. I'm just going to cut them in half, these. Again, if you don't like them, you don't have to put them in. I don't like candied peel, so I don't put candied peel in mine. Not enough. I'm just going to put a little bit of alcohol in this now, so just a little drizzle of brandy and same sherry, and then I'm going to give it a mix. And you can use whiskey if you like whiskey, but I like the flavour of sherry and brandy mixed together. I think it's nice. My grandma used to use Cointreau because she loved the orange flavour of it, but my mum liked the Dubonnet. So everyone to their own, really. Right, so that's my mixture there. So put that to one side for a minute. Now, with another bowl, we're going to cream, mix together the butter and the sugar. Now I'll pop the recipe underneath as usual, so you can try my grandma's Christmas cake. Pop that in there. Now that needs creaming together, so let me get my mixer out. That's done like a light brown consistency there, it's quite pale. I'm going to add an egg. There's 4 eggs going in this. Mix 1 egg at a time or else it'll all split and it'll go funky. So now we're just going to fold the mixture in, just to keep that air in. So all the mixture now is all together with the fruit and the batter, and I'm going to mix all that together. So you need to get some muscle behind this because it's hard work. Right, we're going to get this greased. So I'm using butter. There we go. It doesn't have to be fancy. This is just basically to stop the cake from sticking. Now I've put the oven on 170 for this. I don't want it to cook too fast. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put just a little bit of tin foil over the top, stop the top from burning, because I want the cake to cook inside. So I'm just going to cover it on the top, and then I'll take that off later on. That'll just stop it from burning on the top. So we'll put that in the oven now. And that's going to sit in the middle of the oven now for about, well, I'm going to have a look at it in about an hour and a half, but it's on low. So don't put it too high or else you're going to burn. Right, we'll come back and have a look at that. So next job, I'm going to make a cottage pie next. That's for dinner today. Right, so we're going to get some mashed potato on the go. I've got some steak mince. Now I've got the 5% steak mince because I don't like the fat content when it goes higher than that, because for me all I can taste is fat, but that's my preference. I don't like fatty meats. Here's one of my onions off the allotment. I've got some broccoli as well. I'm going to serve it with broccoli. I'm not putting that in. And I haven't harvested any potatoes. I was going to do it today, but because of the weather. So I bought some. These are King Edward potatoes, which are good for mashing. So let's get those on. Pop a little bit of oil in there. I don't want too much. Bit of flour, that will make some gravy to make the sauce thick. And we'll just wait for that now to thicken up. Put some frozen peas in. You can add carrots or anything you like, really. Right, so I've done this in, so I'll turn that off now. I've done this in a cast iron pan so that I can just put the mash now on top, so I don't have to use another dish. It's a lazy way, that. So I'll just put the mash on top of there when that's ready, but it's not ready yet. Right, they're done. So we'll give them a mash now. Let's empty that off. so that is cottage pie. You don't have to put the cheese on top, but I do, because I think it adds a nice little flavour and it goes crispy. So what I'm going to do is, obviously I'm not ready for that yet because my Christmas cake's in the oven. So I'll pop a lid on there just to keep it as it is, and then I'll pop it in the oven later on when I'm ready for it. So this is one you can make in advance, and then if you don't want to do it that day, you can even freeze it. So you can put it in a freezable container and then freeze it and take it out when you're ready. It just goes straight in the oven, and then when all that top's nice and brown there, then it's ready to go, and you just scoop it out of that and onto the plate and serve it. I'm going to serve mine with broccoli. So when I chop my broccoli, I take all the florets and I eat the stalk as well, because it tastes exactly the same as the florets. So don't waste that, don't throw it away, eat it. And right, so that's that for now. Right, well then, them are cooking, and while I'm waiting for my cake, I'll tell you a little bit, a little story about me being vegetarian. When I was 20, I started having, well, when I was 18, 19, I started having really bad stomach problems. Now, the doctor thought that I had stomach ulcers. So I went for tests and all the rest of it, and they couldn't really find anything. So anyway, it turned out that I had IBS. So my doctor advised at the time that I just stopped eating meat, red meat especially, because he said that red meat sits for quite a while in your gut and it doesn't come out, so it can cause problems. So we're going back quite a while now, let's face facts. I'm not a spring chicken, and we're going back quite a while. So technology, science in medicine has changed a lot, and obviously there's a lot of research gone into IBS and gut bacteria and stuff like that since then. But just so that you know, I was vegetarian for 22 years, and I had to stop being vegetarian because I did find it quite difficult. But at the time, in the health stores, they sold a lot of products that were vegetarian, so it was quite easy in a way, because the supermarkets didn't really stock vegetarian stuff. So I had to, there was no Google, so I couldn't Google recipes or anything like that, but I had to do a lot of research in libraries and start eating clean. So a lot of my cooking stems from that, the clean eating, because eating stuff that's in your products now, so like bread and stuff like that, I struggled with as time progressed, because when I first became vegetarian there wasn't lots of additives and preservatives in foods, and there was obviously the junk foods, but a lot of the stuff like bread and stuff like that you bought from bakeries. The supermarkets were only just becoming a thing then, so you bought from bakeries, so your bread was pure, it was just your basic ingredients made. There was no things added to make it last longer on the shelf, and to preserve it for long times in your cupboard. It was just, you ate it the same day, and then the day after it started going harder, like bread and stuff, and started going off. So you had to eat it quicker. So people didn't tend to do big shops when I was young. They tended to do more little shops, and then all the freezer stores and all the rest of it became a massive thing, and everybody started with buying frozen products, and then the vegetarian thing kicked off, and there was lots of vegetarian foods that had 1 million ingredients on the back that I had no idea what they were. and then I started becoming ill again. So at 42 I had to make the choice of introducing meat back into my diet because I became quite ill. I was trying to run a business at the time, and I was struggling really bad. So at the time I'd stopped eating, basically, because everything that I was eating was full of preservatives and additives. I lost absolutely loads of weight, and was just eating chips because I knew what they were, because they were potatoes fried in oil, and I wasn't ill off those. So I started eating meat again, and that's when I started baking my own bread, and making everything myself, and going back to clean eating and baking and making everything from scratch. But that took quite a bit of time, so don't think that I've been a cook forever, because I haven't. There was one time that I wasn't a great cook. I was a decent cook, but I'm not a great cook. But I've taught myself, and I've had to learn how to cook. So I do eat meat. I'm not a particular fan of meat. I don't eat lots of it. My fellow loves meat with everything. My daughter quite likes meat, but I have to be careful with her because she's got autoimmune diseases. So I concentrate a lot on the gut bacteria, trying to get sort of a balance with my gut bacteria, hence the vegetables. And because I was told when I found out that I had IBS to not eat veg, because that would cause problems and that would make it worse, and that is wrong. So everybody's different, everybody's body works differently, but mine, I can eat all vegetables, everything. I did think that I couldn't, but I couldn't eat, I thought I couldn't eat vegetables, but I can eat all vegetables. So that's, if it's natural, my view is now, if it's natural, I can eat it. But I don't eat lots of meat. I do eat chicken, not a lot of red meat, so I tend to eat more chicken. I do eat a lot of fish for the protein side. So just in case you're out there and you're vegan, you're not getting your vitamins, because the stuff that's in all these packaged foods, and you're vegetarian, vegan or vegetarian, in all these packaged foods that are in the freezer in the supermarkets, that are vegan friendly, vegetarian friendly, vegan this, vegan that, vegan butter for example, there's about 1,000 ingredients in that, and lots of them are chemicals. So it's not healthy. Being vegan is not a healthy diet, no matter what you say to me. I've been there, I've been vegetarian for 22 years. And vegetarian, you can get all your vitamins, you can get your vitamin B12 and all the rest of it in natural diet. Synthetic vitamins, don't do it. You just pass them all out. They just go right through and out. So vitamin tablets are no good. You need to get your vitamins and your nutrients from natural sources and natural food, not from a tablet form. That's my view, and I'm going to stick to it, because I have tried every single diet on the planet. Believe me when I tell you that. I've tried everything. I've done everything that you can name, and the only way of eating a healthy diet is by eating naturally. Don't eat anything that's out of a packet that's got a million ingredients on. There you go. There's the answer. Right, let's have a look at this cake. Right, I think we're... Now you know it's done when you stick a skewer in it. You stick a skewer in it and there's nothing on it. there you go. So that's all done. So we'll let that cool in there for a bit and then I'll take it out of there. Right, that's ready to go in the oven now, so we'll pop that in. And that's going to be 30 minutes, so I'll pop the broccoli on as well. So that's it for this one. So I hope you enjoyed it. I know it's not actually gardening and it's a bit of cooking instead, but hopefully on the next one I'll be doing a bit of gardening because I've got some onions and I've got garlic to plant, and I want to harvest some potatoes. So you take care and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now. Bye.